Hey guys, what's going on? Andy Elliott. I'm here today with a good friend of mine. Her name is Amanda. She's awesome. By the way, she looks super young. She's in her mid-30s, right?
Correct.
So you know what I like? I like it when people get older and they look really young, which means she takes care of herself. She runs a big insurance company. She's kicking butt. She's a great leader. But we were just talking about the art of communication, how it's like a lost art. You know, when COVID hit, people had to wear masks, stand 6 feet apart. Seems like all communication went down the drain. People aren't very good at it anymore. So I was talking to Amanda and I was like, man, what is it that makes you stand out from everybody else? And I know what it is. And she nailed it. She goes, it's the way that I communicate. I'm a very good communicator. So I decided, I was like, man, you know what? I got a big sales channel. Everybody's in business. Everyone in the world needs to be better at communicating, okay? And I was like, would you teach everybody what has made you a great communicator? This is going to be a video that isn't going to be long, but it's going to be very impactful. So grab a pen, grab a piece of paper. I want you to understand, in order for you to go to the next level in your life, you're going to have to make greater relationships, whether you're in sales or anything, which means you're going to have to be a better communicator, the way that you present things to people. Amanda's very good at this. So Amanda, I'm super grateful for you. Why don't you tell them a little bit about kind of what you do right now, and then give some tips that have allowed you to make the relationships you have, to make the sales that you have, from even leading a team as a leader, from your communication skills. Share with us, how did they become a master communicator?
Yeah, so, well, for starters, I was not always a master communicator. I actually was very terrible at this for a very long time.
Good.
And getting into business and studying under some of the best people in my industry, which is financial services, I learned that in order to build a team, in order to help clients, in order to make an impact, you have to figure out how to communicate with people. And the number one and the most important thing is you have to become a good listener. Like I was always just spewing information out to clients, spewing information out to my team, but not actually listening and seeing how they were receiving. So one, being very good at listening.
Huge.
But two, also watching their body language, watching their facial expressions, seeing how they're receiving your message. Because one message could be received very differently by you versus somebody on your team, right? So you have to be very mindful of how what you're saying is affecting the person that's receiving it.
Huge.
And I really do believe you can say anything, Andy, as long as you say it with the right tone and with grace. You don't have to be an ASS out there, but at the end of the day, like
you got to wear your heart on your sleeve. They got to see you care.
They have to see that you care, right? That's the most important part. So you have to deliver a hard message, deliver it with a punch, but also put a little love in there, right? You don't necessarily have to be just out there being an ASS to people. I think it's super important.
And you got to have direct conversations, right? And I think we're in an era right now where people, they want to walk on eggshells around people and they won't say things to offend people.
Correct.
Because sometimes there's a hard conversation that needs to be had. And being a good communicator, when you get better, you can have those hard conversations that other people can't have. And if you can have them, people will respect you. And I'm gonna tell you, what she said is that if you need to say something and you're direct and you're delivering a message, just always finish it with love.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
It's like if I say, and the only reason why I said that is because I love you. Like I love people and I see there's so much more in you, which is the only reason why I brought it up. I know a lot of people wouldn't tell you that because they think that hurt your feelings, or really I think it's disrespectful because you have so many more levels for me not to tell you. And I only told you that because I care about you.
Yep.
Now, see, direct. Oh, I didn't want to hear that. That was the truth. That hurt my feelings. Wait a minute. She told me because she loves me. She sees more in me. So she finished with love.
Yeah.
That's communicating.
Yeah,
but keep going. You're on fire. But I wanted to make sure they understood that the hard conversations are the reason why you want to be better at communicating, because everybody can have an easy conversation. But if you want to get far in life, they take tougher conversations sometimes.
They do, and I've always been something that I would say is very direct. Like I don't necessarily like to sugarcoat things because I don't want things sugarcoated to me.
People love transparent.
It's so much faster. It's so much faster to get to a result if you're being very direct and very transparent. But again, delivering the message in a way where it's not offensive.
Yeah.
Right? We're not trying to be offensive. We're not trying to hurt people's feelings, but we are trying to move them and we're trying to get them to make a decision.
Yeah, and that would be more from a team side. So if she was selling, I want you to listen to this from all perspectives. She started out with be a great listener. That's huge. Number two was like, watch the body language. Number three, if you deliver a direct message and you have to, finish with love, right? What are some other things?
Yeah, I mean, when I'm sitting down with clients, I think the most important thing is also asking good questions, right? Like listening is great, but challenging those thoughts with questions that might make them think about a situation in a little bit of a different way, and getting them outside of their comfort zone, getting them to see, the pain of not making a decision or the pain of not doing something that they need to be doing. They know they need to be doing it too, but they're just
and that's
not
a
ready.
strategy. Like asking great questions. Look, success favors the prepared. If you're someone out there just pitching a product and you're not thinking about what are the greatest questions that I can ask, for example, in the last 30 seconds of your life, no one knows what it'll be. Death isn't uncontrollable. Would you agree? Okay, so I want you to live to be 198 years old. But let's say on the way home, somebody's texting and driving, not your fault, and they come into your lane. You're looking up, it's an ambulance driver, and they say she's not gonna make it. And you're like, what? Wait, what's going on? And you realize it's the last 30 seconds of your life. Who are you gonna be thinking about? The people you love. If there's a decision that needs to be made, since death isn't uncontrollable, and this is something that we know that needs to be done, well, it's a decision that we would make now, right?
Yeah.
So if you were on your way home and we left this and there wasn't a decision to be made and that happened, this thing that you wanted, it can't happen now. And so we can only control now.
And I want to point something out because it was your tone and how you said that.
Yeah.
It was your tone and how everyone watching this probably got
Tonality
chills.
brought it down.
Right? Yeah, it brings it down and it really resonates with you in the fact of like, I need to really think about this, right? It's the tone, it's the inflection in the voice, it's how you're delivering that message, because you could have said that in a completely different tone and I would not have received it.
Yeah, if you were gonna do something, would you wanna do it? It's like, no. Now, I feel like you're begging me, you're pressing me, I smell commission breath.
Correct.
Yeah. And so she said body language, and you could tie in tonality to that as well, because there's what you can see and then there's also like what you hear, right? And by the way, empathy.
Yes.
Right? Like you gotta really like people.
Yes.
And
I
what if
struggled
you
with that a lot in the beginning of my career.
What if you have a
Struggled with
good product? It's a disservice to them if they don't get it. Well, number one, because they could stay the same, they could continue to struggle. They could end up with your competition, and that product doesn't deliver for them.
Correct.
And they bought something they didn't need when you have something they do need. Or something can happen and they don't get protected or taken care of.
Correct.
Now, at the end of the day, as much as you want to make a sale, if you believe in your product, the reason why you want to be the most master communicator on earth is so that you can make sure that they end up with this thing that you believe in. Right? And I know you really believe in a lot about what you do. Can we talk about for a minute, like what you do daily? Like you help people with money, moving money, is that right? A lot?
Correct.
And then also it's financial services and insurance, or is it just financial services? Is it both? You tell them a little bit about what you do.
It's kind of a holistic view, right? So when we sit down with clients, we sit down and we have a conversation about where are they at financially? Where do they want to go? What are their goals? What are their dreams? And what's the need in the family? What's the most important thing? Because they can want the world, but if we're not in a situation financially where we can go and achieve that, we have to take baby steps to get there. And insurance is just a huge need. Everybody needs it. Like you said earlier, it's the one guarantee we all have in life is that we're gonna die. We just have zero control over when it's gonna be or how it's gonna happen. So that is really the foundation to everybody's financial portfolios, making sure they have the life insurance, the death benefit protection to cover any debts they have, to protect the family, to make sure that their kids are okay if they were no longer to be here, their spouse was to be okay. And then from there, you can build upon that. And nowadays, there's so many really great things you can do with insurance. It can serve more than just the need of being a death benefit protection. It can be supplemental retirement income. It can be, an emergency fund, a savings account that people can get to at a later date, depending on how they structure it and how they fund it.
I know her industry very well. We work together, and I wanted to share a lot about her communication. If you just took what she said in communicating, insane. I want to tell you a little bit about her career for a minute. Your career is heaven on earth. Heaven on earth. Okay, what does that mean? Living on heaven, in heaven. You don't have to go to heaven yet. You can do it right here on earth. And you have the ability to work your own schedule. Am I right?
Yep.
Do you clock in?
No.
Do you clock out? Do you decide when you start your day?
Correct.
Can you go on vacation when you want?
Absolutely.
You don't have a boss?
Correct.
Okay. She works for a massive company and has built her own company in the company, and she teaches other people to build their company and their company, which means a life by design.
Correct.
You go to the gym when you want. You help your clients when you want. You go on vacation when you want. If you decide you want to work a month straight as hard as you can and then take a month off, it's totally fine.
Correct.
You don't need to ask anyone for permission.
Correct.
And you have unlimited earning opportunity.
Correct.
Is there any caps on money at all?
No, none.
Okay. The people that work for you, for a living, you help them make a ton of money. You do what you do. You help people, and you live a life by design.
Correct.
Now I want to ask you guys, do you have a life like that? Okay, are you punching in, punching out? Are you going somewhere? And by the way, if you decided you didn't want to work for a year, you work for the next 3 years as hard as you can, and then 1 year you decide not to work, is there still income coming in?
There's still income coming in. Yes.
If you stopped working today, would money still continue to come in? No. This is cool, right? So what I want to do, she's a good friend of mine. I know that you guys learned just a few things she said about communication, how that can change your life, and you're like, man, you know what, that's going to make me better. If you've been looking for a level 10 earning opportunity, an opportunity to work for somebody virtually, she lives in California. You could live in Florida and still be on her team. She'll mentor you. She'll teach you. She'll show you how to do what she does. You can have the same life and everything that I just said that she has in her life. If you've been looking for a change, I'm not asking you to make a decision. I'm gonna put Amanda's number below. Just shoot her a text message. Say, hey, I saw you on Andy's podcast and I want to ask a couple questions.
For sure.
And you guys can look at joining her team. You guys can look at maybe you've been going right or left, but maybe you need to go the other way. I always say this, if everyone's going that way, maybe you need to go that way. Does that make sense? There's this 4-lane highway that everybody's on. And dude, it's not the best highway. You look at these people that have these amazing lives. They always did something that everybody else wasn't doing.
Correct.
Clocking in, clocking out. I'm cool with that. Hey, if you guys like that, that's cool. But if you've been looking for unlimited earning opportunity, maybe you want to spend more time with your kids. Maybe you're like, man, I want to take my kids to school. I want to pick them up. Cool, this offers that. You want to eat dinner with your family every night? Cool, this offers that. You want to go to the gym? You want to take care of yourself? You want to work Monday through Friday? You want to work Wednesday through Sunday? I don't really care. If you want to build something cool, you can build it with Amanda, and she's amazing. So I'm sharing her as a resource with you guys. I hope today the information she shared with you guys is awesome. You guys see her number below? Just shoot her a text message. And if you want more or you want her to answer some questions about how to join or exactly what she does and how you can be a part of that, she's totally cool with this. So today, you got lots of value. Plus, I shared a very valuable resource. And maybe it's not for you. Maybe you have a friend that you're like, you know what, man? My girlfriend needs to be in on this. And by the way, I love men. Men are badasses, so you can be male or female, but women are killers in this space. They're dangerous. So I just want to say, if you know someone or that's you, hit Amanda up. Hey guys, we love you. How do they follow you on Instagram if they want to find you?
Just find me at Illuminate Your Wealth.
Illuminate Your Wealth. We'll put it up on the screen. All right, love you guys. Have a blessed day. We'll see you in the next video.
Yeah.